It really felt like a special place. I'd ride my skateboard around the park for hours a day. You had the beach across the street, you had the pool down the way. I could sit out, watch the sunsets every night. I was a resident of Palisades Bowl for the first 22 years of my life.
It almost shouldn't exist, right? It's a relic of a different time, a wonderful time. I used to say that it was kind of like a twilight zone.
At the time when it was open, 1939, there wasn't a lot of beachfront living. I think what really made this area special is that this really was a working class community.
I lived in the Palisades Bowl in Unit 27 for 17 years, and some of the best years of my life. One of my neighbors was an old lifeguard. Ellie next door, she's always taking care of other people. We all were like a little family. We always knew that we had this kind of like lack of stability being in a trailer park, but the last thing we thought would happen was a fire.
The park's on fire. The park's on fire.
It was like a monster, giant monster coming for you.
It is 100% in alignment with the wind. This has the potential for 200 plus acres in the next 20 minutes. We have a potential for structures being threatened in the next 20 minutes.
Fire 4 LA copies.
There was fire everywhere. All I wanted to do was leave. It was getting so crazy.
The unit's on fire. I'm gonna go tell them they gotta get out of it. The unit on the end.
And the next thing I knew, we were fighting the first structure fire at the park, which was really intense.
Rashi's video, shot from his electric skateboard, may be the last of the park still standing.
Come on! You can't, it's on fire. You can't go in. It's on fire. There's no way to stop it.
They were compelled to try to save the structure, and so I did everything that I could to try to help them.
There's no way. We're lit up all around us. We got to get out of here.
At some point, I had to stop, but yeah. Well, I think we are an amazing community, and all of us would have done that. It's like heaven and hell meeting in one moment. It's so beautiful and so destructive. There's a photo of my neighbor who left the pool. That is one of the craziest shots of all time. This woman in a towel running towards a fire, and I say, Ellie, we gotta go.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh,
God.
oh my God.
God bless us.
The next day, with the hillside still burning, Rashi's friend drives back to the park. He calls to tell him everything is gone.
For 90 years, people called this home. People loved it here. This was their paradise. I believe that's someone's stove right there. Right by the water, right by the mountains. This was their lives. You can't describe this. It's northwest, southeast, it's everywhere you look. Destruction everywhere. It would be very hard to know exactly which one was yours. You'd have to look for something like this.
The risk was always there, but people thought, not me today.
The risk has always been there. Back in the 1950s, the park made headlines when mudslides hit, and several homeowners were forced to leave.
What is up this year? LA in a Minute.
You might know my friend Evan Lovett from his LA in a Minute history segments.
Let's get into it.
Why did you pick the Bowl to do a story on?
There was such history there, and it was one of the first mobile home parks in the entire world. Even from the beginning, the whole intention was to give people the opportunity to live on the beach, but on a working class salary.
We lost that history. This image captures the park in 1958. The grass area and pool are center screen. There's that same park today and the nearby pool.
The thing that I keep coming back to is community, because people were tight-knit, the community was tight-knit, people lived there for a long time, and it was a special place. Yeah.
I know a lot of people in that community who all they had was that place. And now that it's gone, I don't know what's gonna happen to them.
Rashi has taken temporary refuge on a friend's boat. He might just need the serenity of all this water after his ordeal. His home is gone.
I was overwhelmed at the time of the evacuation. It didn't seem real. The only thing I could take, if there was one thing, I've got to get Mom's journals, so I put those in my van. Her photo, special piece, thank God we grabbed this as well. That's my mom.
Inside that box, so much more.
Wow, some of my childhood stuff. Wow, so I haven't even looked in the box. Childhood photos, Being at the beach, this is amazing. This is so intense. I haven't even looked in here. This is wild, you guys. I just grabbed it, I hadn't even opened it.
For Rachi, what goes around comes back. You see, he also left me a gift in all that rubble.
Look at this image over here of them hugging each other.
It was 4 people standing arm in arm around a bowl. And I had it in my yard. It used to get a little covered up by grass. I just wanted it to bring someone some feeling of comfort if they walked by in the ruins.
I was so taken, I posted about it on my Vintage Los Angeles site, and people shared that image. That's when a small miracle happened.
My cousin saw it and said, that's my cousin's sculpture, that's his place. I was so grateful when Allison saw it, and other people got to see that. That's the bowl, in my eyes anyway. To me, it exemplifies our little communities.
It is difficult to imagine kids skateboarding up and down these streets again.
I think there could be some hope because it is mobile homes. It could be one of the first communities to return, or it could be one of the ones that's never brought back. So,
maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to rebuild this amazing piece of history.